I really feel bad when these things of boundaries were brought, that this boundary belongs to this boundary belongs to this, and when we know that this world belongs to everyone.
Who or what do you draw upon for your character, Saul?
My goodness, I guess I draw upon my own individual moral and ethical nature. I do a tremendous amount of work with the International Rescue Committee and work to try to bring attention to the possibilities and options for refugees that are caught in limbo. And so I just came back from 12 days in Uganda, where they are building welcome, not walls. And I witnessed the resiliency of these extraordinary people, both the Ugandans who give land to the refugees. You know, they were in their own conflict a few years ago, and they knocked on the South Sudanese door, and they were welcomed, and now it goes the other way.
När man som svensk kommer till Uganda är det samma sak som förvånar. Deras flyktingpolitik. Uganda har en yta hälften så stor som Sveriges. 50% av befolkningen lever under FNs fattigdomsgräns. Ändå har man tagit emot 1,5 miljon flyktingar och fler kommer över gränsen varje dag. Hur går det till?
Right now, Uganda is being perceived, is being seen as a role model of managing refugees better than other countries. This is not because Uganda has a lot of money, but because government has formulated the policies so that the management of refugees is not just a monopoly of government, but government has invited other NGOs, non-governmental organizations, to partner with United Nations High Commission and then the government of Uganda so that human life is saved.
All partners, whatever they are doing, whatever services must be integrated with the government policies. So most of the services that are being offered in terms of education, in terms of health, they normally follow standards of which have been integrated with what the government in a national development plan entails.
In Uganda, we have two categories of refugees. There are some refugees who feel that, okay, I can afford to stay in an urban place. So these refugees are allowed to come and stay like in Kampala. But if they come to stay in Kampala, then they feed themselves and they pay their house rent. But if they stay in the settlement, they are given a place to build their own house. And then they begin life there. So that in the settlement, they are provided children are provided education, they are provided medical care, they are provided the basic rights of a human being.
Vi träffar representanter för regeringen, människor som arbetar för olika internationella organisationer, flyktingar och många slumpmässigt utvalda människor på gatan, både på landsbygden och i huvudstaden Kampala. Inte någon vi träffar är negativt inställd till flyktingar. Inte någon.
We always share, starting from the very little we have and from the bottoms of our heart, not to just please.
The base human emotion is empathy. And that's what makes us humans. It's empathy for fellow man. And everything that we have as our values is built around that.
First, may God bless the government of the Republic of Uganda because they give hope to many people.
Vi hittar två anledningar till ugandiernas positiva inställning till flyktingar. Det ena är att många fortfarande minns tiden under diktatorn Idi Amin, när många ugandier själva fick fly från sitt land. Det andra är Ubuntu, filosofin som finns över hela Afrika, främst i Syd- och Östafrika, och så kan översättas med empati, att vi alla är ett, vilket gör det självklart att hjälpa sin medmänniska.
We are here to serve for divine purposes. We are not here to stay for long. And what you do for others is done for you.
To be very honest, before the information and knowledge,
empathy and a feeling towards another person is really the essence and the ground spirit to realize that we are here to make a change. There is a reason to why we are here. Maybe it's a bit of a spiritual way of putting it, but sometimes you really need to think, why am I here, and what is my ability as an individual? Well, I strongly believe that all of us are change makers. All of us.
President Museveni styr landet med järnhand, men han har fångat en del av folksjälens ubuntu och utformat regeringens flyktingpolicy utifrån den. Det gör att många ser honom som en human ledare trots hans politiska och ekonomiska övergrepp.
In Africa, the politics are not stable, and therefore each person here is a potential refugee. I know at one time I can be a refugee and I will run to another country and I will be welcomed. So when I say refugee, I see him as a person who is running away, and I know at one time I also ran away probably, and also I will be helped.
This is the point where refugees are docked off. They come from in those boats that you see littered all over, especially police escorts them, and when police gets information on time, they are picked and they land off from here, received at the reception center from here, that is manned by police, UNHCR and IOM. So from here, they are interviewed a bit, given basic items before they are transferred to Kagoma Reception Center.
Mest intressant är att träffa flyktingarna i deras bosättningar. Vi träffar både nyanlända och andra som varit i Uganda i decennier. De nyanlända har ofta inte tillräckligt med mat och vatten och oroar sig för framtiden.
Vita njoo anataka sie bunduki kupika bia na mpanga na kisu. Nakimbia vita. Mazalo kona nganga zachi majole mangare makumade aona ote mado zunzo kubodi nanzona mama.
Som denna kvinna Milen. Vi träffade henne i ett mottagningscenter. En koleraepidemi pågår och 27 människor har mist livet samma vecka. Vi träffar Benson som kom ensam och traumatiserad för 20 år sedan och nu har vigt sitt liv åt att hjälpa flyktingar.
So I experienced something that I cannot explain because I saw hundreds and hundreds of people being killed, being dumped in latrines when they are alive. They could get a person, they make the person upside down, then they push the person in the toilet or in the latrine, and the people died. I saw how many people were shot dead by bombs, by bullets, cutting people. People would be cut the head off and they put them on the tree and they run around. So I saw something that I can't explain. So in these 2 years, I wanted to continue living in the DRC, but the whole fight were driving us towards the border of Uganda. That was the only way, the only path we could take while running. So I found myself at the border. I did not want to leave my country. I did not want to leave my family. But because of the war, I was already separated with my family. Then I crossed the border.
Benson driver en organisation som bygger skolor, hjälper kvinnor att starta företag med hjälp av mikrolån. De utbildar också ungdomar till att bli morgondagens ledare.
Nana bahugenge kubwo natwe banadutangije bakatubwira bati mwishire hamwe murabona iki abana banyu bariga abana banyu none koko twabikoze niko nanababwira nabo bagakora ikibina bamara kugikora ubwo bakarareba nkuko nabo wabaya nk'umwana atari kwiga neza ngagende cyari hejuru kubura sente nanje ntonanarwa kugira ngo mubyire nawe yunguke nkuko twungutse.
Even the refugee activities, they add a value to the economy of the country. This settlement is known to be the food basket in this region. So a lot of food comes from here. The drivers get money. The taxes are reduced from the produce, and it goes to the market. And so it is a chain. The government has supported, and it also benefits. I wish all other governments would have such policies to treat the refugees in a good way. These refugees would add the value, would also help in the development of these countries, and these refugees also would grow and be happy.
It is very important to empower refugees. But if you confine them to a small space in the corner, they will become a burden to you, because every morning they will wake up and wait for you to give food. They will wait for you to bring education. They will wait for you to... But remember, these are people who have their skills, survival skills. You only have to open for them space and see how they can join the mainstream of the society, and they participate in the economic development of the place where they are living and contribute positively, so that we remove this attitude of seeing refugees as a burden.
Det finns så mycket misär och fattigdom i Uganda, men också denna fantastiska värdegrund som gör att människor behandlas med värdighet. Det är ingen lätt tillvaro för flyktingarna som kommer till Uganda, men de är i alla fall välkomna. Det stora problemet i Uganda, precis som i resten av världen, är fördelningen av resurser. Klyftorna som bara fortsätter att öka är nu så stora att världens ledande ekonomer varnar för att våra ekonomiska system kommer att krascha om vi inte gör något. De fattiga är nämligen så fattiga och har så låg inkomst att de rika producenterna inte längre får avsättning för sina varor och tjänster. Det kanske är dags att börja syna våra ledare i sömmarna om vi nu verkligen vill ha förändring.
Hope that the educational systems, our politicians, people like me, civil society groups actually focus on leadership. And that, of course, has a lot to do with competence and empathy towards other human beings. Money, cash, commercialism can do a lot, but without empathy, that is not sustainable. That's one thing I'm absolutely convinced about.
But also we prepare youth who are going to be strong leaders. Leaders who cannot be corrupt. Leaders who are going to take care of the need, not their personal needs. Leaders who are going to speak of those who are having problems, to speak for the speechless. So leaders who are going to serve the community and the country and build development and sustainability. So we train leaders.
My grandfather in Yiddish used to have an expression, a redel sad redlach, which means the wheel is always turning. Yeah. So if you're on top, don't kid yourself. You're going to be on the bottom one day.
Yes.
And the most important thing I say to everyone, if you're concerned about anything that's going on in the world, the real world, not the fictional world, you have the most power of anyone, not a news person or a person on television or the richest person in the world. You have what's called a vote. And you can go and exercise that vote. And if you don't know people that are running for office that match your moral and ethical state and nature, figure out who they are, find friends who know them, go support them, and get them into situations that can encourage our government and governments all over the world to stop spreading hatred and fear and spread welcome and inclusiveness.
But if we just look on, history will not forgive us. People who did not stop the Nazism at its time, their names, history has not forgotten them. They are still being blamed. People are ashamed for not doing something. So wherever you are, do something. In your small capacity, do something.
Vi har inte precis någon Ubuntu här i Sverige, men hur står det till med empatin? Vill du signa upp för en mer rättvis värld? Träffa oss på circleoflove.se. När vi blir tillräckligt många kan vi göra skillnad. Hoppas vi ses!